Stay tuned as Janet Leigh checks into Anthony Perkins' Bates Motel in Alfred Hitchcock's legendary shocker, Psycho. But first, get the story behind the movie with the AMC short subject, Backstory, Psycho.
Here we have a quiet little motel. It has now become known as the scene of the crime.
1 year after the release of his popular 1959 romantic thriller, North by Northwest, Alfred Hitchcock made a low-budget black-and-white horror film featuring nudity, voyeurism, adultery, necrophilia, transvestism, insanity, and other screen taboos.
It was an exercise in doing a picture for a price, making a low-budget shocker that maybe would do well, maybe wouldn't.
Psycho was Hitchcock's pet project, one which he financed himself on a modest budget of $800,000. But to the surprise of everyone but the master himself, it became a theatrical phenomenon, grossing $15 million and forever changing America's relationship to the movie screen.
It was really the most cinematic movie maybe that he'd made in his whole career. For example, in the shower scene, which became notorious. He said, as you know, that Paramount Special Effects Department made for me a torso entirely of rubber. When you plunged your knife in, blood would come out. Oh, it was wonderful. I didn't use it at all. Didn't use it at all. No, not at all. That would be cheating.
Instead, Hitchcock chose to shoot the shower scene in detail, with Janet Leigh's very real torso throughout. Through the magic of montage and juxtaposition of angles, he manipulated the audience into believing Leigh was being stabbed to death when the knife never actually touches her body.
How did he achieve this extraordinary impression that he gives you? 75 different camera positions in 45 seconds. Talk about a primal screen. Audience couldn't believe it.
The shower scene took up 7 days of the unusually fast 45-day shoot schedule. But Hitchcock's design was precise. He knew how long each image would hold on the screen before shooting a single frame of film.
And it's an extraordinary sequence. It shows you the power of montage.
The most grisly scene in film history had been created. Audiences would never feel safe again. And the dawn of a new, more gruesome horror film had arrived.
Movies were never safe again. It started the whole slasher kind of movie. Suddenly, an experience had reached out beyond the screen and scared the bejesus out of everybody.
Hello, I'm Sharon Stone, and I am delighted to be one of your hosts for AMC's presentation of Universal's Hitchcock, the series that celebrates the genius of Alfred Hitchcock. Psycho is perhaps Hitchcock's best-known movie, and it caused an absolute sensation upon its release. Audiences had simply never seen anything quite like the sequence featuring Janet Leigh in the shower, one of the most famous scenes in motion picture history. Asked why he had something so grisly occur in such a prosaic setting, Hitch shrugged and said, "Things happen out of the blue." In Norman Bates, Tony Perkins created a truly unforgettable character. Tony became so identified with the role that we tend to forget that up to this point he had been a teen heartthrob. His status as a pin-up boy for sensitive girls was one of the big reasons he was cast. Alfred Hitchcock loved undermining audience expectations. Shot in a mere 6 weeks, Psycho was one of the biggest box office hits of 1960. It also brought Hitch his 5th and final Oscar nomination as Best Director.